I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is
the Family Showdown! Welcome to another Top 10 Shenanigans.
Top 10 shenanigans?
Yes.
How?
Well, we usually call shenanigans, and it's a top 10, so I decided to combine the two.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Fair dinkum. All right, folks. So today we're going to be doing our 2013 top 10 2013 games.
First, I just want to say that it is quite disturbing to think that that is a decade.
Yes.
That's highly disturbing. Highly disturbing.
A decade ago.
1990 was like 10 years ago. I just want to say that for the record.
Actually, 20 years ago still isn't the 90s.
So. We're old. Okay.
Wow. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Xeris wins.
So, this is around the time we actually started getting kind of heavy into board gaming.
Yes.
So, I was surprised by how many games we played from 2013, one, and also how many good games
were in 2013.
Was in 2013 as well.
I know. I kind of feel like I want to go and look at some of the games we might have missed from 2013.
I've got the one. Actually, for me, I picked the game I haven't played that I most want to play in 2013. But that's at the end.
Oh yeah. That sounds like a nice little bonus for everybody sticking around. I like this.
Right.
I like this.
So,
hello, peeps.
2013. I guess we'll just jump right in.
I know, Troll, that's the thing. It's like there's hundreds of good games every year, but there's always like that core. You know what I'm talking about? That core set of games you're like, I want to make sure I check that out. I want to try that. You know, I don't know. There's always just like a chunk of games. And I feel like back then, way back 10 years ago, apparently, I don't know. We weren't as thorough going through and being like, I want to play this game and that game and everything else, you know?
Yeah, we kind of just...
we just were like...
picked and grabbed and tried different things.
Yeah, it was exciting. So I think this is going to be, I don't know, interesting. Oh boy, who's starting? Wow. Who dances worse?
That's definitely me.
Yeah. I
don't know.
Wow. Hey, at least I can follow directions dancing.
Oh gosh, I can't. So.
Yeah, I win.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right. Just to
that way, if you copy me, you're copying me instead of me.
Oh,
you know, yeah.
We will.
There's gonna be some
crossovers because I guess what do they say? The cream rises to the top, so the best of the best are going to be a lot of crossovers. The ones that survive.
Yeah, our favorites.
Ones that survive.
Yeah,
because we're still playing. We
probably
both like, right?
That's true. Yeah, because I mean, we played other games and stuff, but this is our faves.
All right.
As of right now, these are my faves.
Let's do it.
I like this.
Number 10.
All right. I get to go first. Okay, so my number 10, a cute little unassuming silly game, and that is Welcome to the Dungeon. This is another one of those you can just throw in a bag or purse or whatever and take anywhere. In fact, I believe this year, we didn't end up having to use it much because we were chit-chatting with people and stuff, but we took it with us as just in case we're stuck in line for a really long time, right. This is what we're going to play. And then we ended up chatting with people and stuff and didn't really stay in any lines for very long. Dice Tower was like clicking with everything. Yeah. Even the auction, oh my gosh. Flea markets were moving pretty quickly, so it really wasn't worth.
They had bigger spaces this year, so they kind of flew in. You didn't wait in line very long.
Yeah. So this is just a silly little game. I mean, this is not like I rated it a 10 or something like that, but I like playing this one. It's really fun, silly, filler. Don't know what to do for a few minutes. It takes 10 minutes to play this game, maybe.
Yeah, it's a press your luck game.
And it's a little press your luck game. So you have the dungeon, and you've got a bunch of hero. Well, you have a hero. You pick your hero, and you have like the generic warrior and ranger and blah blah blah, but they have their own equipment and stuff with it. They give you special powers against certain types of bad guys, and the dungeon is full of who knows what kind of bad guys. Well, you're gonna seed the dungeon, and we each take turns doing that, so you know what's half of the dungeon.
If you play 2-player.
If you play 2-player, yeah. You can play multiplayer, which makes it really crazy. But the thing is, if you decide you don't want to put a particular monster in there, or for whatever reason, whether you want to be ornery or you're like, ooh, I don't want to fight that, you take that, but you have to take a piece of the warrior or whoever's equipment with it and take that away. So kind of like breaking down your poor character.
Yeah, you're becoming weaker, but
and
you're
weaker.
taking out monsters you might not be effective against.
Yeah, so it's this little thing, but then you're like playing chicken with the other person, and I'm like, okay, is he going to try to go through the dungeon? I want him to fail, but if he kind of calls my bluff and I end up having to go through, I kind of want to be able to survive. So you're trying to decide how you want to seed this dungeon / take away their special weapons and stuff. It's just silly. It's fun. We have the sequel, Welcome Back to the Dungeon.
Yeah.
And then added a little bit of variety because you have more characters and different weird little bad guys to fight. Again, not like the world's most amazing game or anything, but just silly fun. We've gone back to it multiple times. I enjoyed it. Welcome to the dungeon.
Okay.
What you have?
Mm.
I don't know.
My number 10 is, let's see, Lewis and Clark.
Oh,
Lewis
my
and
goodness.
Clark.
Did that not pop up on my... I'll have to...
Anyway,
I need to check that.
Lewis and Clark, this is the original game. It's a very, 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 very slow racing game. So you're traveling across the Pacific Northwest to try to get to the coast, and it's a worker placement, it's hand management, it's all kinds of fun stuff. But inevitably, the way you win is to be the first one to get to the end of the trail. But it's a very kind of a long game. That's why it's kind of lower on the list because it takes a while to play. And I like worker placement. I like hand management.
Right.
Fun little game. It's kind of a playing chicken in a way because you're trying to build up and make your thing more efficient. But the longer you build up, your opponent may start sneaking away from you. So it's a fun little race game, but it really doesn't feel like a race. It feels like more of an adventure game, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Lewis and Clark. It says like the expedition or the new expedition or some expedition or something.
There's some expedition.
There's some subtitle to it that I don't know what it is.
Goodness. Okay. Number 9. Oh man, family classic. I haven't played this in a little while. I guess the kids are getting bigger. Terror in Meeple City. So at first we were like, oh, the setup for this. But you know what? You recruit the children for that. And everybody's putting their meeples out, and you have all these different types of meeples. And then you have your little Godzilla creature, and you flick things off of them, and oh my gosh, it's just hysterical because you're trying to knock these meeples down off the buildings. They're running in terror, ha ha ha, and you're destroying buildings and getting meeples as they fall out of the buildings. And you want to try to collect, like, I think if you get one of each color meeple, you get a crazy amount of victory points. There's a bunch of different, I'm trying to think, there were a bunch of different, you can mix it up too. I think end-game conditions and victory points you can do.
Random end-game conditions. There's different
they have
sides of the board where you do different things happen. And
they have special abilities, I think, too, that you could use. I think there was a couple things you could do to trick up the game. Yep. And it's just silly fun. We've had so many flicking hilarity moments. Right. Oh my goodness. Between flicking and hitting pets and other people and random things in the house and crazy weird moments just in the game itself.
Right.
You know, it's really fun, and it's silliness. You know, the roof finally falls off, and once it falls completely off, you get to keep that as like your memento, right? Hey, I have a piece of this building, but it's also victory points, you know, tallied up at the end of the game plus all of the meeples and stuff. It's just silly. It's a fun game.
I seem to recall us playing this live like many years ago, and one of us, I think it may have been you, flicked at something. A meeple actually went from one rooftop and landed on a different rooftop.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, just like, and it was like, dude, Superman, what?
Yeah,
you know, it was crazy because,
crazy. Yeah.
Like,
or I seem to recall. I may have remembered that wrong, but yeah.
Now I want to go find that and see because that's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's just silly moments like that are a lot of fun, and it's great for any age, all ages. Blasty blast, play this game.
Nah.
What? It's all right.
My number 9.
Mr. Meh. I was going to say
Anyway,
Mr. Good Enough.
my number 9. Let's see what it is. I'm pushing the right button here. It is Euphoria. This may have been the first Stonemaier game we played, maybe? I can't remember if we played a different one before this. But we played this at Texas Tabletop Con, like way back.
Was it West Texas or Falls Con?
Oh, it may have been Falls Con.
I think it was Falls Con.
May have been Falls Con.
It was one of our little tiny Texas cons.
Way back in the day. And so this one is dice placement. Dice as workers, however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot. You're moving up on different tracks. It's a kind of a futuristic, like you're trying to produce different kinds of energy and things like that. Very competitive. I think this may have been, was this Jamie's first game? Jamie Stigmeier's first game? It may have been his first game.
Now. Wow, that's wild.
Anyway, so we played this, and then we kind of forgot about it, and then we fell in love with Jamie's games, and then we went back to it, and then we like it, and it's sitting on our shelf right over there.
Right.
In the corner. But we haven't gone back to it in a while. But I really do enjoy games with dice as workers.
Right.
I enjoy games like that, so probably one we probably need to revisit.
Right.
We haven't played in a while, so that is my number 9.
That's a good pick too.
Euphoria.
That for the time, that was a pretty heavy game for us too.
It was a pretty heavy game. All right.
Number 8.
Crossovers are coming sooner or later.
Oh, you know it. My number 8 is Feldy Goodness. Bruges. This was one of our first Feld games.
One of the first.
Yes, one of the first. And it is such a cute. I like the remake that they did, and I can't think of the name of which city it is. I always get all the cities. Hamburg. Okay, I like Hamburg. I like the remake a lot.
Yeah, we may not ever play. We'll probably never play Bruges again.
I know that makes me sad because I mean, there's a lot of fun times with this, but again, we're basically still playing it. But Bruges was fun because this was one of our first forays into like super crazy multi-purpose card insanity, and I really dug that. But at first, it kind of was overwhelming because I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah. You can use the card for this.
You can use it for this or this. I need to do this. I need to do that. I only have how many turns? What? You know, it's just wow. It's almost overwhelming at first, right? And yeah, it's a lot of fun. You have these multi-purpose cards. You're trying to do Feldy and point salady goodness. You've got a kind of busy board moving around doing stuff. There's like this track you just go up on. You was this wall for this one, right? Was it a wall or canal? I can't remember the name. Canals, and it doesn't do a whole lot except give you like prominence for first player or first dibs and stuff like that. I mean, it introduced a lot of things that didn't do a lot of stuff. You know, like that canal. You know, like it's almost like busy work.
That gives you
sometimes.
Points, though.
It does, but it was just kind of interesting. So it was interesting getting into Bruges and playing that. We played this quite a bit, and really got into Feld, as you can tell, because we still have. He's still kind of floating around right back here, right behind us.
Whole third row or whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
it's devoted to one of our faves. So this was an early, easy hooked on Feld game for us.
It's okay.
Wow, it's gonna be later on his list. I can already sense it.
It's
such
okay.
a troll.
My number 8 is a game that Rebecca has not played.
What?
It is Russian Railroads.
I have not played that.
So I played this one. Did I play this on Tabletop Arena, Board Game Arena, whatever it's called? Board Game. I think I did play this on Board Game Arena.
Did you? Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if I played this one live or not. I can't remember. I played it several times. This one is, pun intended, all about going up tracks. So it's all these different tracks. So you have all these worker placement spots. It's a worker placement game. It really doesn't feel like a railroad game, really, because you're doing all these worker placement spots on the board, and then you have all these different tracks you're moving up on, and you have to get certain, I played it so long ago, you have to get certain resources to move up the different tracks, and I think you have to do them in order or something like that. But it's a worker placement game, and I enjoy. It's almost a logistics puzzle, and I need to get these resources to do this and this and this.
Oh yeah, you told me. I remember you talking about that.
And
now.
I didn't know if you were kind of burned out on railroady themed games, even though it's not really that strong of a railroad theme. So I didn't even think you would like it. So yeah, it's a fun little game. I enjoy the worker placement, and I love logistic puzzles, which is what I call them. Is you have to maximize your turns with the resources to maximize each of your turns. So
Michael says that tracks for him.
It does track. On that note.
I love it.
On that note.
Number 7.
All right.
Number 7. One of our other besties really became prominent this year, and that would be Uwe Rosenberg with Glass Road.
We were late to the table.
We were a little late to the party for this one. I don't think we played it right in 2013. We ended up playing this later.
I don't know if we played our first Feld until like
no,
15. Rosenberg. My first Rosenberg until like 15. Well, we played. I played Agricola way back in the day, but that was before we were even together. But after that, I don't think we played another one until like 15 or 16.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. This one is a great one. This is one of the ones that we always talk about recently too, because it's kind of coming back into being a thing where you've got the track wheel that keeps track of all of your resources, but it's got these little guiding. It almost looks like clock.
Yeah.
But it's fixed, and as you move, you're either increasing or decreasing the amount of resources that you have as you adjust the whole thing. It's pretty interesting. I really enjoy the balance with this one. This one also is we like to call this the shorter version of Ora et Labora. Oh man, it's an Uwe Rosenberg game, and if you've played his stuff, you know what we're talking about. Where you're getting a lot of different resources and building up to get either more complicated resources to build stuff that's going to give you better victory points, or build your engine better and this and that. You're building up a gaming engine to produce a lot of different things throughout the game. Really enjoy it a lot, and it's funny to think that this is a 2013 game because, like he said, we did not play it in 2013. This came much later for us, but man, glad it's here. It was a good one.
Yeah, what's interesting though is this game may have got beat up a little bit by Orenburger Canal because it gives us the same feel and it plays faster, easier to relearn. So I don't know. We'll see.
I didn't think this one would get ever shaken until we played. Yeah, is it Iranian Burger? Orange Burger. We call it Orange Burger, but Iranian Burger Canal. Yeah. So anyway, Glass Road, classic.
Yeah, it's okay. My number 7. Speaking of Feld, Feld was last time, right? Speaking of Feld last time. Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
So,
that's a good one.
So this one was kind of a leap of faith for Feld because we were really getting heavy into Feld. Again, this is later on. I mean, we obviously didn't play it when it first came out. We played this one. It kind of blew us away because it was like it felt heavier than it looked. It looked like a light little kind of tile placement kind of game, and it was like. And
then once you realize it's Feld, you're like, oh.
It kind of blew our mind a little bit, and then it's funny because the first time we played, it was like about halfway through, we're like, oh, that's how it works. And then we're like, we got to play this again real soon. And then we didn't play it
real soon until we went back to it.
We went back to it again. We're like, oh, how does this work again? And about the third time we played it, we're like, oh, okay, we've got it.
Part of the problem with that, though, too, we talked about that, was the icons. They look really similar. And because of the color scheme, they're all the same kind of colors. And you're like, okay, what the heck? Which is what? And that's what always confused us. It was not an intuitive.
Well, and also
setup,
those little tiles that you draft were kind of confusing on how these work too, and how the car. I mean, there was just there's so many little tiny rules. That's kind of a little further down on the list for me.
Right.
And it's one of the ones that kind of lands in the middle of the pack, maybe towards the bottom of the pack for our Feld games because it's a little harder to learn, a little harder to.
But it's fun.
Get in the groove of it. Yeah,
it's really good.
It's got really some interesting choices and lots of different ways to score points, like all the Feld games have.
And it is really pretty, but you're right. It has those obstacles to kind of get over to get to the table. It kind of make a detriment, which is sad because it's so good.
is good.
So good.
Number 6.
Zeros. It's
Boring. All right.
Man.
That's you, buddy. It's you go first.
It is
I'm not used to you
me.
going first. I was already looking like, what's number 6?
Oh, wow. My number 6 is a crossover.
And they're going to start a lot.
Yeah, I figured. Euphoria. Like Connor was saying, we had not played this, or maybe you didn't mention this yet. We did not play this in 2013. We played it later.
No, I mentioned that, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was a false con. And
I think did I learn it or did someone teach us?
Someone taught us this game.
Yeah.
And this was a little bit, at the time, a little bit on the like upper end of what would be heavier for me. Because at first it took a little bit for it to click. And I wasn't, it was so busy. I wasn't super into Felds and all that kind of stuff. So this was a little busy for me. And I wasn't sure how much I liked it. But then later on, like he said, we were like kind of re-remembering it. It's like, you know what? We should play that.
Right.
We should play that again.
It kind of overwhelmed us a little bit because we weren't into heavy games yet back then.
No, it was
all.
very busy and heavy.
Right.
That was a lot to keep track of. And we were doing a full player count when we were playing that too. So I was trying not to AP too badly and be that guy.
Make it last 6 hours.
Yeah, but I was sitting there going, what do I do? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, So I kind of probably did not do the best.
I think I just picked one of the tracks and said, I'm going to just do that.
Do that. Hey, you did better than me. I know that much. But yeah, so revisiting it, I was like, wow, this game's really good. I really like this game. And once again, I was like, oh, what a shock. It's
We don't have a lot of dice placement games.
No, we don't.
But there's not a lot in general. I mean, there's more than...
There's been more recently again for a while.
There's more recently, but back then there wasn't hardly any. I mean, there was Alien Frontiers and a few
Alien
others,
Frontiers.
I guess. But yeah,
but yeah, it was pretty fun. I really, it was neat when I saw this on the 2013. I was like, oh, that's going up high on the list because I didn't realize it was. Now, if it was like played in 2013 again, that didn't happen. But boy, really good.
It may be the one on my list that I most want to play.
Oh, out of here?
Yes,
right
because
now?
we haven't played it in a while.
That's pretty fair. I'm fine with that.
All right, let's see. What my number? What are you on? 6?
Yep.
Let's see what it is. It is Caverna.
Well.
Caverna.
What a shock. Mr. Sheep Herder over here.
Caverna. So I mentioned that we played Agricola. I played it way back, maybe pretty close to when it first came out. And I never really went back to it much because it was kind of heavy at the time and different reasons. And then Caverna came out and like, wow, this is really cool. Because I remember Agricola being really punishing and like, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do this and you have to do a little bit of everything and be balanced and all this thing. And Caverna's like, you can be balanced if you want. Or you can go crazy and have 3,000 sheep like I always do.
Yes.
I always look for a good combo of if I get this room with this thing and get these animals and do this and this and boom. And then
you look over, he's got all the sheep meeples.
And it doesn't punish you as much if you don't have a little bit of everything. Which and feeding your people is much easier in this game. Whereas Agricola, that was kind of you feed your people and then if you can, you do something else.
Right.
In Caverna, it's like, oh, I'll give them a cow or I'll give them some pumpkins. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
It's much easier. It's more open, less tight, and I enjoyed that. It has leveling up your little dwarf guys and all sorts of fun stuff going on. So it's just, I enjoy it much more than Agricola. I know that's a lot of people disagree with that, but I do enjoy it much more than Agricola.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
Xeris is on a tear this evening. So, what's the favorite rock band for the Caverna dwarves? Sheep Trick.
Oh
my gosh.
Hold on a second.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. So this one, hold on a second here. Number 5 for me is another family favorite, and it's still really fun and hilarious, and that's Coconuts.
Oh my gosh, this high?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Even now, when we play this, it's hysterical. Okay, let's just be real. Come on, we played it not too long ago, and we were laughing even then.
I do not disagree with you.
The smack talk, the amount of smack talk. alone with this game make it pretty epic. But you have these ridiculous little monkey things, and you they hold the coconut in this little like rubbery ball.
Yeah.
And it's weird shaped. It's not like a perfectly round one either. So it's going to fly strangely.
Right.
And it's going to bounce strangely. And you flick it and it flies, and you're supposed to collect a whole bunch of cups and stack these cups. But you can also steal other people's cups from them. And if they already have coconuts in their cups, the coconuts are points at the end of the game. So you can steal their cup with their coconuts in it and stack that and get more. I mean, it is... Inevitably, as someone starts to win, everyone starts to gang in on them. But, you know, depending on how good everyone's aim is, there's a lot of infighting. And
yeah, you get that one cup ends up with like 4 coconuts in it. Everyone's shooting for it. Everyone's shooting for it.
Fantastic. So much fun. Yes. You love this game too. Don't even. It is hilarious.
It is pretty fun.
And anybody can play this.
Not worthy of a top 10.
How dare you?
My number 5 is not coconuts. It was already mentioned. Like I said, there's going to be lots of crossovers, especially up at the top. Number 5 is a Bruges. So yeah, this one.
Yeah, you like this.
If this wasn't our introduction to multi-use cards, it was pretty close to the first one we played, and it kind of blew our mind with that whole. You have a card and like I can use this 6 different ways, and I want to use it 4 of those different ways.
Right.
What do I do? What do I do? I mean, it's multi-use cards has got that great angst of, oh my gosh, I want it for that, but if I use it for that, then I can't use it for this. It's so, yeah. You want it for the superpower, you want it for this, you want that. Yeah.
Not wrong.
And
not wrong.
So it's fun. That in itself makes the game interesting and fun. And then you got all those other. You got the plagues or whatever that's happening to you. You got to deal with. You have the canals you're building. You have moving up this little like track of something. I don't remember what it was. Popularity track or some track. You have all these different ways to score points. You're balancing all that. You're building all these buildings. It's a really solid game. What's sad is we'll never play it again probably. Because Hamburg.
But in Hamburg, I mean,
Hamburg is
we're
Bruges.
Playing it through Hamburg.
Kind of, yes. But Hamburg is a little different. It streamlines it a little bit.
Fair.
Opens the game up a little bit more. It looks much better. Bruges is like generic.
Genericus.
Brown and beige colored failed game. Hamburg's very colorful and looks really great. Components are better and upgraded. So, but it's still, like you said, at its heart, it's still Bruges.
Right.
With a few tweaks. So
Truth.
Bruges. Not number 5. Move on.
No.
Wait, find the button.
Number 4.
Somehow my main camera button
Magic trick. We
disappeared. That was
you
weird.
didn't see that coming.
Dead air.
So now that we have your attention, my number 4 is Caverna. Apparently, I like it better than you.
Slightly.
Interesting. So, pretty much all that he said, except that I was not really a fan of Agricola when we played it.
Yeah.
I think you forgot, but I did play that with you, and then we just didn't.
No,
play
I
it
played
once.
it. No, I played it way back before you, and then we played it. We played it later on together.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah.
Okay, I see how you are. Board gaming before me. No, so anyway, it was too much about the feed your people. We hated it. It was like, as far as it was like so punishing. And again, it was at the top level of the heavy weight for me.
Feels
too.
like you're
It was
barely
just-
keeping your nose
it was
above
like,
water the whole time.
Yeah, and I was not good at getting beyond that. And Caverna is a lot smoother in that regard. And it's fun because you can choose, you have the 2 parts to the game. You've got the mining aspect, and you're going to get the rubies, right?
Yeah,
I think rubies.
Yeah, rubies, yeah.
The red in the game, the little gem, so I always call them rubies. And then you've got the farming side of it. And you can pick and choose. You can do a little bit of both, or you can be really good at one, like Mr. Sheepherder over here.
Right.
And I find this kind of fun because in this game, I invariably change what I want to do every single time. I'm like, maybe I'll just become a miner this game. Maybe I'll do a little bit of both. You know, I don't play the same way every time I play. And I like that about that game a lot. The fun thing about this too is if you do a little bit more of the mining, you can get a variety of rooms because you have to dig out space to have rooms in your cave.
Right.
And the rooms have special powers, and you can use that to bolster some farming, or there's a lot of different options for that. And I don't know. I like exploring that and playing around with it. I feel like you've got more leeway to do that in Caverna than in Agricola.
Right.
So.
Well, and the feeding the people, like I said, is super
Yeah,
good.
it's so difficult in Agricola, and this one, it's just kind of like he said, you guys are eating tree bark this time, or you're actually gonna have some good, you're gonna have some sheep,
Man, you're so mean to your people.
But you get that choice, which is nice, and it kind of opened up the avenues for like when they got cave versus cave and some of these other games, and in that kind of vein,
Right.
they were like, oh, we need to try these out. These are fun. There's something different to do. So, good job, Caverna.
Okay. My number 4 is crossover.
What a shock.
It's dead to me
Oh,
because
is it Bruges?
Orange Burger.
Oh,
Orange Burger
killed it.
Glass Road. So we played Bora at Bora first. And that is a beast. That is a 2 to 3 hour beast. I mean, it's fun. It's interesting. It's a really enjoyable game.
But it's a beastie.
But we played Glass Road, and it's like, it's like the light version of Bora. So if you're not feeling the whole thing, and then now we have Orange Burger, which is probably easier to relearn and easier to play than Glass Road, and it gives a lot of the same feelings in terms of the resource management, and it's got an interesting way you're building out your board, and you get superpowers and all sorts of fun stuff.
Right.
I mean, they're different enough, or all three are different enough that probably weren't having all of them, because Bora is a bigger game,
meatier,
a lot more build up, a slower grind, a lot heavier decisions.
Right.
Long-term, short-term decisions. Glass Road's a little quicker, a little easier to play than Bora, and the Orange Burger now is even faster and easier to play, but it's different. It's more about building routes and things like that. I mean, you do have rooms with superpowers and things like that, but it's more about building those routes and connecting different things. So,
Well, we have to point out too that is 2-player only.
it is 2-player
So
only. Well, Glass Road's
that
2-player
might-
only too.
Is it?
Yeah, right? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Am
Now
I
gotta
crazy?
know.
Am I crazy? Am I
Is it?
crazy? Am I crazy?
Is he crazy?
see if
Let's
I'm
find out.
crazy.
Let's find out.
It's not 2-player only.
No, I was gonna say I don't remember being 2-player only.
Well, maybe we've only played it 2 players. So,
Yeah,
so
that's
it is
true, though.
2-player only.
It is
Kinda.
apparently.
But she already described it, so we love it. It's a fun one. Glass Road. Maybe.
Good pick.
Of course, it's a good pick
Not as good as
because
mine.
it's like what?
Huh?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Woot, woot. All right, my number 3.
All right, hold on. Don't say anything.
Why?
I'm predicting right now.
Okay.
I'm predicting
Okay.
spoilers.
Okay.
It's going to ruin it for you guys. It's like I'm telling you the end of the movie.
They're just gonna fast forward to the end now.
I'm predicting our 3, 2, 1 are exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
If not, they're going 2 and 3 will be swapped. That's
Nope.
my guess.
Nope.
You think they're exactly the same?
I think they're exactly the same.
Neutral said coconuts. I like it.
This is number 3?
Yep.
Yep.
Because you're epic. Like that neutral. My number 3 is
It's Concordia.
Concordia. Okay. Put up the old school. No, you did. Okay, good. Yeah, so that iconic cover of Chica. Hi. I don't know what's going on.
I
Anyway.
didn't see what I did there.
Oh, what'd you do? Switch it back and forth? Ooh, fancy. You guys, hopefully, you should have done a seizure alert or something there.
Concordia.
This is the ultimate trading in the Mediterranean game. This is the game that made that a thing. That made calling that a thing because everybody plays it and everyone tried to copy it because it is so good.
It is good.
I still love this. The map is gorgeous. The board is gorgeous. The mechanisms, the way the gameplay is really smooth. It's just fun to travel around. You can go by water, you can go by land, going around and getting all the cool little bits and putting your little buildings down so that you have trade and you try to make regions produce and you get these goods and you're turning them out and you're getting these victory points and you're doing all this stuff and you're trading and it's in the Mediterranean and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's one of those, it's in the sweet spot for gameplay time. Relatively easy to learn how to play.
Right.
It's Euro. It's just, it does all of these things. There's a reason that this is like the trading in the Mediterranean game. Still
holding high up on board
10
game
years.
for years and years and
Yeah.
years. Yeah, it's got a little bit of deck building. It's got an interesting scoring system based on the cards that you draft. or buy or draft or take.
Right.
They not only give you powers and benefits as you play them,
Right.
they're also going to determine your scoring at the end of the game. So it's that multi-use card again, but it's not multi-use card within the game. It's multi-use as you use it and
Right.
at the end of the end-game scoring as well. So it's like, I really want to concentrate on one thing,
Right.
but I really want this card for the power, but the scoring's not going to help
Right.
me. So which ones do I take?
Oh, I love it.
It's got the resource management. It's got the, like I say, almost route building
Right.
kind of almost area control in a way. It's got that kind of press your luck because you're producing. At some point, you can reset the production, get a ton of money by doing that.
Right.
It's just a really solid game.
It really is.
And
And Joker's talking too about the variants too, all the different things where you kind of make it peaceful, la 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 la, or
Right.
you can really get. We've had some very cutthroat games where
Right.
we're like, oh, I'm not producing in that region because you have a building,
or
you know, and
or
just
there's
like
certain
messing with-
resources that you want that are. There's like maybe one that's close by and the rest
Right.
are way on the other side of the board. You're like, oh, who's going to get that one resource, get the benefit of it
Not
early
you.
on?
Yeah, it's so much fun.
There's lots of different maps based on the player count. You can use different sizes maps. If you want a kind of an open game, we'll play a 3-player map. If you want a tighter game, we'll play a 2-player map. And it's just
Right.
It's a really fun game. I enjoy it. Like you said, for us, it's one of the ones that's quickest for us to learn for whatever reason. I mean, there's some stuff going on, but for whatever reason, we pick it up super fast. It's easy to relearn.
Truth.
Oh, let's move on to our
Indeedly.
number 2.
Our number 2. Amerigo. You're not even going to do the little number 2 or anything. You're just like, whatever.
Oh, are we doing that?
Number 2.
Gotta make it official. Oh my gosh, I'm blind. What just happened? Oh my gosh. Amerigo. Ah, the gimmicky of gimmickies. This was our first not a first gimmicky game, but first like Euro-y gimmicky game.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
It has the Cube Tower. Okay, the Cube Tower is hilarious. I say hilarious and you're like, what? Because you're going through and you're doing this game and all of your actions are built off of what cubes come out and they're colored. So depending on the color, you get a certain type of action, and depending on the numbers, how strong that action's going to be. So you're like, oh, this is the round where I put in like 5 green cubes and then none of the green cubes come out. And you're like, cool. Plan B, you know, I mean, it's hilarious. You never know what's actually going to come into come out of the dice cube thing. So, on top of that, on top of the silliness of the cubes, you have a really cool game and going around, and Hunter likes boats. We're sailing around these tiny little islands. It's, trying to think of what. I always think of all the little different, like Polynesian, all the 10 million little islands out in the middle of the Pacific. There's like thousands of these islands that no one knows about. And they're all like these little tiny islands. And you're going and exploring them, and you're putting stuff down and trying to get resources from them, and blah, 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 blah.
Polyomino. Which is it's one of the, I don't know if it's the first Polyomino game, but it's one of the
first ones for us, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
so good.
What I found interesting about this game is that when we first got into Feld, we went crazy. We bought We bought all the different Felds. We basically caught up. We kind of landed in the middle. And we went back and caught up on all the ones. And for whatever reason, Amerigo was kind of middle of the pack. But it's been slowly, over the years,
gotten better and better to us.
Its way up the list to where it's our favorite Feld now. As far as I know,
it is one of our favorites.
If it's not
collectively, it's probably our favorite.
It's interesting. It kind of slowly beat up the other Felds and fought its way up to the top. I guess because it's a little bit different. There's a lot going on. It's unlike any of its other games.
Really, yeah.
It's a fun game to play.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
And I think part of it too, why we hadn't played it much, is the other ones came in this regular box and stuff, and then you have Queen Game box for Amerigo, and you're like, what's different about this game?
Right.
Why is it so big? It looked intimidating, and it's totally, it's a Feld game. If that intimidates you, okay, but the size of the game, at the time, that was a big box, okay? Nowadays, you're not even going to bat an eyelash at it, but back then, it was like this monster
Queen
box.
The Calyx is sitting way up atop.
Yeah, it's on top of our shelf. Come on, people, start things back in the Calyx. I'm just saying. Anyway, That's my rant. That's a random rant. Amerigo's amazing. Love this.
Should I push the button?
Yes, push the button. Number one.
Dramatic pause.
Yes.
Number 1.
And no surprise to anyone.
Nobody is surprised in the chat. I already saw it being called Viticulture. Yay! Okay, if you don't like Viticulture, what are you doing here? No,
it's gonna be a lot of people's number one.
It is.
I think if you polled most gamers for this year, this would be by far and away the majority
people's
of number one. It was just
right.
And you hear this, and when you see a lot of people's top 100 lists, this is at the very top of the list. It's just a solid game. What's interesting about this, I mean, we told this story before. We'll tell it one more time. It was we did not want to play this game for years. If it came out,
well, we were stuck on like theme things.
Winemaking? Oh, come on, seriously?
It's like, how is
and
that
then we
gonna
finally
be
said,
fun?
"Fine, we'll play it." We played it. We're like,
"This is the best game.
What is
we love
this?
game. Why weren't we playing this game all the time?"
And then we played it several times, and we're like, "We don't need the expansion. It's fine, just how it is."
Right.
And then we're like, started hearing things about the expansion. Like, maybe we should get the expansion. We got the expansion. Like, it's even better.
Oh yeah, and now as I think I've already seen people talking about, it's like you don't want to play it without.
Oh, I would never play base game.
The
Viticulture.
base, yeah. I mean, it's
unless
the Tuscany
just
stuff, the 4 seasons instead of the 2, and like the way it's. Oh man, it's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game.
Yeah, a Joker. Yes, I wonder what the ES is for. Is it Jokers? Anyway, he said the first edition is kind of bland without Tuscany. Yeah,
right.
We had no clue because we loved it as it was, and then we played Tuscany and got Tuscany.
And
but now you get the Essential Edition, and
you don't have to worry about all that nonsense.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about all that nonsense. Yeah. And there's Tuscany Essentials as well. So those are the two you want: Viticulture Essentials and Tuscany Essentials to get everything.
I still don't understand why that was so overcomplicated and weird, but
I think what happened is that I think Jamie reevaluated the game and said these few things are not necessary for the game, and he pulled them out and then kind of streamlined the 2 editions to make it where in Viticulture Essentials you get a lot of the stuff that makes the game great, and then Tuscany's kind of extra, whereas back in the day, Viticulture, you had to get Tuscany, or it was very different how the game
2
played.
very different games at that point.
Yeah, so it was smart to do, but at the time when the transition happened from Viticulture and Tuscany to the Essential Editions, it was very confusing to a lot of people. It's like, what's the difference? Which one do I need? Do I need Viticulture and Tuscany Essentials? Can those work together? And it was very confusing.
Right.
They actually had charts. Jamie had actually charts on showing this is what Tuscany is, this is what Viticulture is, this is what the Essentials is, this is what you need to do this.
Well, I think overall it worked. It's just hard to explain
it's
it
kind
to
of
people
moot point now
because we had the way back game.
Right.
But nowadays, I mean, you just go with what's there.
You can't get the others.
You can't get the other stuff, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, wow. So now, some honorable mention things and stuff. I saw a lot of people mentioning Firefly, and I really like that game. It's
3
my
hours too long.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, I want to love this game, but I like this game because
the first hour I was like, this is amazing. The second hour I was like, okay.
It's
Third hour I was
too
like,
long for what it is. Yeah. I love the pick up and deliver, the theme.
How does the game end?
Yeah, the theme was fantastic. I love the fun stuff you had to do, but I remember it relied a lot on some of the memory stuff. Remember we hated that part. Right. And again, the length was crazy long, but yeah, as a game, that game's fun. Somebody was mentioning the Duke. Was the Duke? I didn't see that in my list. Yeah. Was the Duke in 2013?
Yeah.
I
only pulled my 9s and 8s. I think Duke is a 7 for me, so I didn't even look at it.
I missed a couple. Yeah, the Duke is another one that, man, I don't know. That would be like another one of those that I would be like dancing around the Duke and Welcome to the Dungeon around there, because that was a really good alternative to chess. I'm not a huge chess fan. Love the Duke. Love Onitama. Those 2 games I would play anytime over chess. Anytime.
Right.
And the Duke is so much fun because you're flipping those wood bits over and then you have your move. I loved the way that worked. I think that is just a solid abstract game. Solid.
Someone mentioned CV. We didn't, for whatever reason, CV didn't click with us. We didn't
enjoy that one.
Like that one very much.
Yeah, we didn't like that one
My
as
two
much.
honorable mentions were on your list. Terra Meeple City and Welcome to the Dungeon.
Nice.
So
Lewis and Clark you mentioned, and that was on my...
Someone mentioned early on about Rococo. We decided not to put that on the list because we've never played the original version. We only played the Eagle Griffin Deluxe Edition is the only one we played, and we don't know the differences enough to say...
Is it the same game?
Is it the same or not?
Because if it is the same game, then I would definitely have it in my top 10, but since, again, like you said, we have no clue.
Right.
And it was fairly... Hanamakoji is really good, too. That's another one.
We never played Quantum. I've wanted to try it. I never played it.
Yeah. I love Hanamakoji.
We played the English version. We never played the original, so I didn't include the...
We didn't. I didn't.
I think the English version came out the next year. I want to say 14.
Right.
So.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. There was something. Oh, I saw earlier in the chat, and we were kind of doing the top 10 stuff. Someone was asking, in our little split screens, how long it took to roll the dice to get it to an 8. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because when we decided to do those countdowns, we just did multiple takes until...
We just ran the camera.
We just ran the camera and did that, and then
we would roll it until it stopped, and then pick it up, roll it until it stopped, pick it up, and then I just...
It didn't take as many times as we thought.
No, it was like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
But I just spliced out the piece that showed it. And what's weird is if you look at the camera, the way the camera was showing it, it almost looks like it rolled a 20, but it didn't.
But it didn't. Because it was at a weird angle.
It was at an angle. It looks like the 20's on top, but it's not actually. It's the 8 that's on top.
Bang the Dice game did not make my list, but yes, Kabuki, that would be on my short list too. We've had some fun plays with that, but you get down to the lower player counts, it's not as fun. That's a max player count kind of game for me.
So I mentioned at the start, I would say the game I most want to play from this year that I have not played.
I'm excited.
And it was on Trogdor's list.
Oh, it was?
It was on Trogdor's list.
I don't know if I saw.
The reason we haven't played this game is it's 3 players only. 3 to 5 players, and it actually plays best with 4 or 5 players.
Okay.
It's Francis Drake.
Oh, yeah.
A pirate theme game.
Want to play that.
Yeah. I just never had a chance to play it. Something that'll have to happen at a convention or something like that. So Trogdor, next time we run into you.
That's right.
Teach me Francis Drake.
That's right. There you go. Now we know. We got plans.
All right.
That's awesome. I forgot about that. That would be a good... I need to go and search and see what would be my go-to. I need to learn to play this game. I need to look for 2013. That sounds cool.
All right. That is it for this time, folks. So, 1 week from tonight, we're going to have some shenanigans. But, a couple things.
Chicken butt?
There's a slight chance I might not be in town.
Oh, I forgot about that. So
if I'm not, we'll push it one day to Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay.
But
so keep an eye out.
It's about a 90% chance of me being in town Tuesday. Okay. Next, we did an unboxing of our anniversary edition of War of the Ring a couple of days ago. You'll check that out. We're going to try our best to play it live tomorrow night. We're going to try. No promises, because I'm getting ready for a trip Thursday. So we'll see where we land. But the mat's right there. The game's right there. I'm going to read the rules tomorrow and set it up at least, and we'll see where we're at.
Kabuki.
If we don't get it played before I leave, we're definitely gonna play it when I get back. So
heck yeah,
look for
happening.
Look for it to pop up on the schedule. Hopefully, again, I'm trying my best to do it tomorrow night. It'll be earlier than our normal time because it's a longer game.
Will it?
Yeah, it'll probably be like 7 or 8 Central, 7:30 Central.
How exciting!
Something like that. Anyway, just let you know, next week, 1 week from tonight, hopefully, shenanigans. We'll talk about games. We're doing a new thing. I took the list of all the games we owned, put the last time we played them, and we're going back and grabbing the ones that we've had played
the way back.
The ones we played least recently. Is that right? Is that right terminology? Least recently. The ones we played. Yeah. We're trying to grab some of those up and play some of those. Right. We're also using that for the next cull. When we do another cull, we're gonna the ones we haven't played in ages. What are you doing?
I'm grabbing the dice.
What about it?
I wanted to see something. Oh, it is. Because I forgot something while you were... that I wanted to continue. We got off topic. So go ahead and finish. Sorry.
Oh, they're mentioning how long War of the Ring. For us, it's about 3 hours, I would say.
Yeah.
It's because we're just playing the base game. We're not playing
We're not going to do any... Yeah.
And we once we get going, we go pretty quick.
We go pretty quickly
pretty
usually.
quickly. So I think we can get it done in 3 hours. But there will be a teach, so it'll probably be a half hour ish teach and then a 3 hour game. So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be a longer, definitely longer show.
So I meant to get back onto our dice rolling and our
Right.
takes and stuff. Someone mentioned that it looked chipped, and I was like, that's funny you say chipped because I'm like, it's actually foam. I'm squeezing this.
No,
but it
the
does
paint's coming
have,
off.
No. There is a little chip. Where is it? The 8 right on the corner there. It's like a little tiny piece of foam has been chipped out.
Oh, there is. It's
And
just
okay, so when we played, especially back in the day with our game group, and any of you that like Carl that remember our game group, we would do this to roll to see who was the first player or whatever.
Right.
But we'd also,
throw it at each other.
throw it at each other,
Right.
throw it at whatever, and it's been all over the place. So
Right.
it's kind of amazing that it's as intact as it is,
Right.
considering that it's been used as a weapon. But
All right, folks. That's
oh
it.
goodness,
We are going to exit stage left. Look for War of the Rings soon. If not, we'll see you hopefully next Tuesday. Where's the buttons? This button.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.